Hey, welcome back to the channel. You just landed on 5 Lakes Garage. Sorry for the congestion. It's wintertime and I get sick. Just gonna have to deal with that part. But anyway, we're gonna be on our welding cart. I saw a couple episodes ago, we actually fabricated this up with a bunch of network gear. Cabinets, we got casters, we got all the other stuff, but check it out. It's gonna be good. All right, before we start talking about exactly what we're gonna do, let's see what we have already. Take a look at my cart. I'm excited about it. All right, so you see we got a plasma cutter. No, it is not Lincoln. We also have a Lincoln MIG welder. It's about a 135T. It's a 110 welder, and then we have our new TIG welder. We have our 2 tanks. We have 75-25, and then we have 100% argon. All right, so far I love my cart. It goes everywhere in the shop, but there is a problem in which I'm hoping to fix today. All right, let's just say I need to work on something over here on the other side of the shop. Problem is, this is how long I have for a cord. It's what, maybe 6 foot long? Not long enough. I have to bring everything over here to the side. So what we're gonna do today is actually rig this up for an extension cord. But not just any extension cord, because I have 3 machines over here, but I only have 1 cord. So let's see what we're gonna do in order to make an extension cord for this thing and do it close to being the right way. I know some electricians out there are going to ream me for some of the stuff I'm getting ready to do, but hey, I'm on a budget and most of the stuff I had laying around the shop, so that's what I'm gonna use, and it should be pretty good. So check it out on the table, what we have to put on this guy. All right, here is my loaded table of goodies. So we need to have some cable. Now, the cable itself is one reason why I had to kind of look at my own stash. Now, as you know, I go through network racks quite frequently. I make a lot of stuff out of them. Well, one thing that they do come with is 50 amp cords on it. Now, I think this is like a 10 footer. I got 2 of them, so that's 20 feet. 20 feet should be able to get anywhere in this shop. That's gonna be awesome. So I did have to pick up a plug. Now we needed some breakers. These breakers actually came from the house when we redid the whole panel. This one, I actually bought this a while back, and my plan was to have a connection over there. But the price of wire to go from there up in the overhead all the way down to my panel was ridiculous. This one here, as you can see, was up on the wall. Recycle, recycle, recycle. All right, so I need a 20 amp MIG welder, a little cover for it, and then also don't forget your connectors here. And then I got some muscle. This one right here is actually a grounding bar. It was one of the ones that I pulled out of the house panel. I was gonna put the whole panel on this thing, but I think it's huge. Didn't need it. But I do have this little guy. As you can see, it's nice and used. I think Lowe's has these things on sale for like 30 bucks or whatever, but this should be plenty good for what we need to do. Now for 50 amp, we're gonna need 6 gauge wire. That's one reason why it was gonna be so expensive to run a line from over there to over there. So with the extension cord, since I already had the cords, this has come out really cheap. So anyway, enough talking, enough jabbering, let's get this thing going. All right, we're on the cart. As you can tell, I stripped it down because those things are expensive, as you know, and I don't wanna have anything, any kind of sparks, whatever, getting into those things and messing them up. Now, this is what we got. Went ahead and mounted loosely my panel. I marked it there and I marked it underneath there because I want to go ahead and cut that little lip off. You see the lip? Yeah. So that it will actually sit flush. That'll take a little bit of strength away from the actual vertical bar, but with this thing bolted on there, put a bunch of screws in there, it will hold in and hold pretty tight. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why am I putting a panel if all I'm doing is just plugging stuff in? Why don't you just make an extension cord, have a bunch of breakouts, and be able to put all your connections on here? Well, I'm gonna blame Lincoln, because Lincoln is not a sponsor of this channel. They could be. Just give me a call. 5 Lakes at Gmail. 5 Lakes Garage at gmail.com. Go ahead and shoot me an email. Maybe we'll get a partnership. Because I have the it's a 220 for the plasma cutter. It's a 220 for the TIG welder. It's only a 110 for the MIG welder. Now, if I had 3 220s, then yeah, I'll put a box in there, put 3 plugs, boom, we're good to go. But don't have that. So I need to put a panel in and also change the wire out for my wall over here to a 4-wire, because we need a hot, we need a hot, we need a neutral, we need a ground. Could get away with just having a hot and a ground, because you're using the ground as the neutral. I have the wire. It's a 4-wire. Let's go ahead and use it the way it's supposed to. So we will connect a hot, my neutral, and my ground bar I'll put somewhere around in here, screw it to the back, and we should be in good shape. So we have hot, neutral, ground. That's the way we're gonna do it. All right, enough talking again. So let's throw some sparks and get this guy mounted. All right, progress is being made here, bruh. All right, take a look. Got everything mounted, and let me see what you think. All right, so all I did was actually mount this directly to the side. This is gonna be one 50 amp plug. This is gonna be a 2 50 amp plug. Now the 110 will be sitting underneath. Now I did self-tap it all the way in, and then cut off the end so it's not so sharp, and then also put in my my anchors. Gotta have those because you do not want it to chafe. Now I went ahead and installed the ground bar, which I just threw some self-tappers in there, cut the backs off, and now this guy is in there. She is not going to go anywhere. Also up here is where my main feed is going to go in. It should go around the tank and be able to hook up wherever I want to hook it up. I'm gonna go ahead and put the small panel in here. Like I said before, most of the stuff, not all of it, but most of it I did have laying around, which is awesome. And I don't have to spend any money, and this is what we're gonna have. Bam! Hey, thanks for watching the show. Hey, if you need some outdoor speakers, indoor speakers, whichever, go ahead over to Handui and go ahead and get you 10% off. But if you need some LED lights for your trucks, your tractors, whatever, go over to Exito and get you 15% off. All the promo codes are down and below. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. And we'll catch you later. Enjoy the show. I gotta clean up. All right, I basically have all 3 receptacles almost wired up. I got my breakers in, I got my wires all tucked away, and we're actually looking pretty good. But I figure I would mention to you one more time, because I did it in some of the other videos, about a regular 110 socket. Now, this is in like North America, we use 110, 60 hertz. Over in the UK or Europe, they're more of a 220. And they're most of them at 50 hertz. But good thing about new electronics, they'll actually work on both. But just figured I'll let you know a little something real quick about these little guys here. So you have hot, neutral, ground. All right, if you look at this side, you have brass, which will also be really close to gold. This side here is silver. It's nickel. It looks like silver. So gold is worth more than silver, so gold is hotter. So put your hot wire, which will be your black. White wire goes on silver. Think silver, white, gold, black. Now, if you really want to look on this side of the house, and as you can tell, this is a 20 amp receptacle. If it didn't have that little bar, it would be a 15 amp. Think of it this way, is that the big hole, or the big slot, is your neutral. The little slot is your hot. And of course, the round one is your ground. So anyway, I'm going to finish this up, and then we're going to take it back and show more detail about how we did it. Let's wire this up. All right, welcome back to the sauna. It is hot, and I gotta keep turning the fans off because it will mess up my audio. But check it out. All right, so as you can see, if I can get my camera out here. All right, so you have hot, and ground. Now this is just gonna be the 3 plug for 50 amp. Always use 6 gauge wire. Ran a cable, but it should work fine. I did solder the ends so that when I plug this in, it'll actually hold. Did the same thing for down here. If you can, buy them both at the same time. But clearly, these are 2 different manufacturers. One uses Phillips head, and the other one uses flathead. But hey, it'll work for what we need to do. All right, so as you can see, I got my grounding rod here. I got all 3 of them grounded here. We have our 220 and 220, so 50 and 50, and then we have our 20. Got our little black wire going down into my receptacle, which I just, I don't know if you can see it, but we went ahead and terminated that. I just need to put my covers back on here, but I wanted to show you first. So the next step would be actually get my feeder, which will be this cable, which I got to get these ends off and run that big honking cable straight through this 1-inch little guy here, and then we should be able to put an end on it. All right, let me get this end off, put it in here, one step closer. All right, check it out. Let me know what you think. All right, so the main feed wire is going to come in here. Make sure that is nice and tight because you're going to be tugging on this side quite a bit when you're plugging and unplugging and rolling around. So make sure that is nice and tight. We got a ground going all the way down to our ground bar. We have our, well, this side's pink. It's supposed to be red, but it's fine. That goes to one bus bar. The black goes to the other bus. You have your neutral, which is right over here. So you have all of them going into this panel. So this panel is actually ready to go. Just need to put some covers on there and also covers this up, and then we should ready to roll. Anyway, so we have our cable nice and long, and we come up with our plug. Now this is an RV plug because it is a hot neutral ground. If you look inside, you can look at your color code. The ground is all the way up to the top, which is the green wire. Black is hot, red is hot, or pink in this case. So those are on the two tips. Now the white one, which would be in the center one. But this guy should be ready to go to actually get buttoned up. Man, this project's almost done. I'm getting excited, Okay, so let's go ahead and, what am I gonna do now? You know what, I'm gonna button everything up and show you what it is. Oh man, that was a project. Check it out. This is the entire cart. You know, somebody just asked me today if this thing was too heavy to move around. I don't know, what do you think? Put yourself a nice little handle on top. Actually came from my bed. And works out pretty well. But hey, take a look. Got my electrical panel all ready to go. I got my breakers in. I got my wiring in. Everything is plugged in. Everything is nice and neat. Just use some tie wraps. That's all you need to do. Then you don't have stuff all in the way. Now the good thing about using the metal panel here, and the cart is metal, everything is bonded. So when you have this thing plugged in, it's actually grounded to earth, and then it goes through. The box here is grounded or bonded, which is connected to the cart itself, which makes the whole thing grounded. So that's actually a little bit safer. But got 50 amp, 110, even have another plug over there, and so I can actually plug in other things. So let's plug it in, see if it works. Now the plug that I'm using went to the RV section and got a big hammer. I got my handle right there. I actually kind of like this, so I don't run the risk of actually touching the wires. So let's plug her in. There we go. Shut the breakers on. All right, so now this whole cart should be energized. Let's make sure it actually works. All right, so we got the 110 side. Woo, baby. All right, let's spin it around. Let's see, we got plasma. We got plasma. Do we have MIG? We have MIG. Now, do we have TIG? And we have TIG. Look at that. All right, everything on this cart works. I'm so excited. I think maybe what I might do is actually put another 110 circuit up here. I do have another breaker left, so I can put my grinders up here. So one cart covers everything. That's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do. For right now, I'm just gonna run a tri-plug on the bottom because I'm not gonna use this but very often, but I might be using my grinders. So, anyway, what's next for this guy? Well, like I said before, I got one more cable. It's another 10 feet, and I got one plug. Still need the other plug. Looked it up, and yes, I did order 2 of the other plugs, but one came from Georgia and the other one came from California. I don't know, don't ask me, that's just how they shipped it. So anyway, it's still in the mail. It should be here in the next couple days, so I'm just gonna pull these guys off and put these guys on. Now I'm gonna go ahead and keep these. I don't know if I ever use them, but these things are expensive. Wow, those things are expensive. Anyway. All right, I can't wait to get this thing around the shop and start I need to start welding. I need to learn how to do the TIG a whole lot better. All right, so I'm practicing TIGging. That was a piece of aluminum, but I started off doing globs, and it's not very pretty. Still got a lot of work to do, but I'm gonna invite somebody over to actually teach me how to do it so that I don't keep messing up and hopefully make it look better. All right, that was a fun little project. If I had to buy all the parts all in one shot, I probably wouldn't have done it, only because it would have been way expensive. I looked up some of the stuff. I think these breakers are like $16 a piece. The box itself, maybe 40. So you're already looking at what, 70 bucks or something like that. The cable, man, I think for a 15-foot cable, I think it was like 100 and something bucks. Yeah, the receptacles over here, there, I don't know. It was cranking up to be a lot of money, and I don't need to spend that kind of money on this stuff. But luckily, I had everything in the shop. Well, almost everything in the shop. But anyway, that's enough talking. Take it easy, have fun, get out there and do whatever you got to do. I'm excited. Hope you're excited. So anyway, check out all the other stuff. Check out how I built this thing, and hopefully real soon we'll start tigging, start migging, and start cutting. That's what we do here at Five Lakes Garage. Come back and see us later.